First of all, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhong, the Jung Rinpoche. Homage to His Eminence Karmapa, the 16th Dharma King. And homage to Master Thubten Tarji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today. Uchisma, the great sovereign King Buddha. Samu, Tudan Siddhi Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today. From the Taiwan government, the Chief Secretary, Mr. and Mrs. Zheng Peifu. From Academia Sinica, Professor Zhu Ziyi and Mrs. Zhu. Legislator from the Nantou County, Ma Wenjun, Miss Ma Wenjun. Council people from Nantou County, Mr. Chen, Mr. Lee, and Mrs. Lee. From the Council of Kaohsiung City, Miss Xu. From Nantou County, Chaotun Town, the Sheriff, Mr. Hong. Also from Chaotun Town, the Social Affairs Section, Mr. Jian. And from the Chaotun Town Rep Association, Ms. Zhuang and Ms. Chen. And sheriffs from Sanling Li, from Sanjiao Li, from Zhongshan Li, from Hsinchu Li, and from Bizhou Li. All the different neighborhoods around the temple. And also the executive secretaries, Mr. Xu, Mr. Li, Mr. Hu, and from the 3 times journalist, Miss Chen, and through the school scholars group, the distinguished Professor Wang Jingxian, Professor Wang Yaozhen, Professor Wang Li, Professor Mai Yihuang, Professor Gu Haoxiang, Professor Hong Xinyi, Professor Ye Shuwen, Professor Lin Xiuji, and Dr. Ye Jiangcheng, Medical Dr. Lin Jun'an. The President of the Worldwide Lotus Light Charitable Society, Master Chang Ren. President of the Lotus Light Charitable Society of Taiwan, Mr. Li Chunyang. A sand sculptor, Mr. Wang Songguan. From Jingyi Enterprise Company, the General Manager Zhang. From Qiping Furniture Club, President Wang. and a senior from Grandmaster's College class, the Major General Sun Fu-seng.
My university same classmate, 测量学校32期
from the GRDC College Class 32, the alumni leader, Mr. Yang, and all of the ex-classmates and their families. Total 17 people. So welcome from the class 32, 32nd class of the GRDC College alumni, the leader, Mr. Yang Xionghui, from the current leader from the Alumni Association, and all the classmates from all over Taiwan, from Taipei to Pingtung, and their families, total 17 people. They all gathered together here. So thank you very much. And also my respectful Major General Sun Fu-seng, which is a senior in our college, and also the leader Yang Xionghui, that I respect too, and their families and other classmates, and welcome to dinner later tonight. From Guam, the PIC rep, Ms. Zheng Yi. Legislators Cai Chi-chang's representative, Ms. Chen. Representative to a council person from Tainan City. Producers for the Great Perfection Dharma Vajra Exposition and the development stages of Tantrayana, Master Lian Yue, and the host, Ms. Pei Jun. From CTI TV Taiwan, producers for the Gaining Diansang Xingden Illuminating Your Heart, Ms. Rebecca Xuyaqi.
My sister, Lu Seng-mei.
My sister, Miss Lu Seng-mei. First, I would like to say Happy New Year.
Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy Chinese New Year.
And, happy Happy
and a happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. We may not be lovers, but we are all loving each other. But first, let me say that Simu is back in Taiwan, but she's still experiencing jet lag, and she said that on Chinese New Year's Day she will appear with us. And to Buddha School, Zhendi Lei Tsang Temple in Brazil, Master Lian He, which is a PhD in mechanical engineering, and he recommended Reverend Lian Jia, which is a permanent nun and also a vice abbot at the temple there, and she had performed and contributed quite a bit. And she also earned a master's degree in management and had been a manager at the Bank of China in Brazil. And after ordination, we all respect her. So Master Lian He especially recommended Reverend Lian Jia to become a Vajra Acharya. So we'll find time to confer the Acharya empowerment upon her. And she is diligent in her spiritual cultivation. And she also trained in the treasuries, energy, yoga, and the inner practices and the Golden Mother practices, and continually to improve. So this is recommended by Master Lian He to empower Reverend Lian Jia to become Vajracharya. And the third announcement is we were really busy today because we had a cooperative effort by the Lei Tsang Temple and the town of Chaotun for the single elderlies. So now it's already 5:25 and I haven't even started to give a speech, to give the Dharma teaching. So it's rather late today. I apologize. And today is Valentine's Day. I have nothing to say. But let me sing 2 songs for the little ones. The first song is for Ping Dharma sister from Seattle, Lei Tsang Temple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where is my friend? Where is he? Where is she? Where is my friend? My friend is you. And the other song I would sing for Dharma Sister Yi Ting from Farming Chapter in Taiwan Lei Tsang Temple. You're my little apple. Doesn't matter how much I love you, it's not too much. And a red round face lit the fire of my life. Thank you. This is my true feeling. And Ping is 3 years old. And Yi Ting is 8 years old. Thank you. Thank you to you that you brought the fire of my life to me. Just now we performed the practice of Uchusma, the great sovereign King Buddha. And the Homa fire offering was for him, but it was done really fast. Apologize. The Uchusma is a manifestation or emanation of Sakyamuni Buddha. And he has the strongest yang energy, young and strong energy. On Valentine's Day, how come the Homa deity is Uchusma? It should have been Guruguli, the love deity or Ragaraja. But Master Lianzi, how did you arrange Uchusma on Valentine's Day? You're celebrating the monks or the monks and nuns? Because monks and nuns don't have lovers, so we use this strongest, fierce, the most fierce deity. But this deity is very unique and special. He specializes in eliminating all the filth and contaminants. So the primary supplicants and the registrants and those who receive empowerments today would have all the filth from your bodies be completely eliminated. Any impurities, any contaminants would be completely swept away. So practicing this deity with the great masculine and yang energy, if you gain a yogic response in your practice, then you would have sons. He's very masculine, very young energy. And we have a medical doctor, Lin Jun'an. And he said that his wife is about to give birth. And he asked me, would it be a son? What? The baby's about to be born and you ask now? It would be a son? You ask for a son? But if you recite the mantra for this deity for a long time, then all the yin energy obstructions like the yin or the ghost or the spirit attachments or sickness all would be eliminated. Yin or dark energy. So this deity especially is Vajrapala or Heruka that especially eradicates sicknesses or illnesses. And this deity can go anywhere. Some gods, when they encounter foul energy, they would avoid foul energy. The same with Buddhas, they would avoid foul energy, but this deity is different. At any place, any time, you invoke him, and if you gain yogic response with him, he would descend, he would come. Any time, any place. Even when you are in the toilet, you're on the toilet bowl, and you invoke him, and he would come all the same. And moreover, he would purify you, cleanse you. So for the white ceremonies or red ceremonies, ceremonies for the death or ceremonies for blessings, and then you encounter negative energies or spirits or ghosts, or you go to the dark energy places like hospitals or funeral homes or cemeteries, you can be rest assured if you invoke this deity and he follows you, all the dark or foul energy would be eliminated. Or if you go to the gambling place, this deity is very unique. At the gambling parlor, there are lots of all kinds of gambling ghosts inside it. But if you invoke this deity with a very bright and masculine energy, and you go to the casino, all the gambling ghosts would run away completely. And then with great radiance you gamble. You can't say that. How could you gamble with great with courage and clear conscience? I never gamble, but one time the 4 great ladies from California, they took me to Las Vegas and we went to casino and they gambled. Was it 21 blackjack? Or I don't know about those card games. They gambled, and usually they always lost. But I recited mantra behind them, and I recited Uchusma's mantra, and I continually chanting until all the people in the casino came by and watched us. Why? Because as soon as they take 2 cards, they won. They always won. And the house always lost. They always they changed the whatever called. Basically, they always won. The banker, I guess, and they were so pleased that they won a lot until they played and they always won until the tour bus came. Wasn't it strange? One time during Christmas, someone was wearing a Santa Claus suit at the Qianye restaurant, the hot pot restaurant, and they played the dice. So you can play big or small. smaller number. And when it's my turn, I asked for the spiritual consultation, and I said small. And then they played 2, and it turned out, and I won. So if I said big, it's number 6. If I said small, it's 1 or 2. So I always won. So by asking, I got it. So you're very fortunate to come here, that you would receive blessings from Uchusma. If you learn to recite this mantra, then you would be fortunate. The mantra. It's very easy to remember because those 2 words so every day we recite Om Ami Deva Shit. But the English speakers would always say shit. And a woman sometimes say to the man, shit on you. As you know, shit meaning poo. But every day we recite this mantra, Om Ami Deva Shit. Om Ami Deva Shit. Om Ami Deva Shit. Shit, shit. So for Malay, we always say Selamat Siang or Selamat Petang. Petang meaning late afternoon, but it sounds like a fool. And Selamat ulang tahun, or Selamat this, or Selamat that. And in Chinese it means, are you dead? Are you dead? Whenever I go to Indonesia, they always sing, Selamat ulang tahun. It's my birthday and you ask me if I'm dead? Well, what can we say? So for Uchusma, he has a very special mantra, and inside it there are 2 words that's very easy to remember. It's also a curse word in Taiwanese. And the mudra is very difficult to form, so I will form it for you, and you should pay careful attention here. So you need to form the mudra and visualize him. In tantric practice, you need to use your mind to visualize Uchusma, and then you form the mudra and you recite his mantra. And forming the mudra, it symbolizes the purity of the body. Reciting the mantra symbolizes the purity of the speech. And by visualization, it symbolizes the purity of the mind. With these 3 purities, you invoke Uchusma to descend. And let me tell you, Uchusma descended today. You know, but the first that I saw was the green Tara. It was Tara. And the second that I saw was Golden Mother, the great sovereign of the West. And the third who descended was Uchusma. So today, by receiving the empowerment, it's the same that you receive Uchusma, giving you the strong, bright energy, eradicating all the filth and impurities. And then the pure green Tara and the pure golden mother also give you blessings. So the empowerment today includes green Tara, golden mother, and Uchusma. So it's truly tremendous. And thank you for coming. So today it's hard for me to pronounce it. V-A.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So happy Valentine's Day today. It's hard to pronounce V and A. You need to close your lips. You don't speak English, but you're teaching me? But I speak English every day. But those who can't speak English, teaching you how to pronounce it. So Hui-Jin, please say it.
Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day.
Eh? How could you do it? How could you say it? I was just stopped. Lian Dian, Master Lian Dian. You know, your pronunciation not so bad, but your English is worse than mine. At school, I highly respect the instructors, the officer. You know who that is? Chen Wei. Now he's in Auckland, Australia. He's now in the city of Auckland in Australia. And at school, he memorized the English words from the dictionary. At that time I said, I claimed that I don't like English. I didn't like English. I'm very nationalistic, I'm a patriot. That I love my country, that I would never leave this country. Oh. I hated English. I don't like English. And I've never been able to memorize English vocabularies. Like sleeping, I would use the Chinese pronunciation that means dead inside the bottle, sleeping. That's how I memorize it. Like Philadelphia, that's really hard to pronounce. And they taught me. It's meaning like the flying bird is hitting on the flying duck. Philadelphia. Oh, it was so hard for me. If I had known that I would go to United States, I would learn from Chen Wei and carrying with me all the English words and memorize them. So After getting to United States, I started with the Philadelphia. So this is jokes for Valentine's Day, offered to me by someone. So what Valentine's Day mean is, so the woman is destined at the wedding day what kind of day they would live. So if they marry the right person, every day would be Valentine's Day. If they marry the wrong person, every day would be a and if you marry a playboy, then every day is like a single day. And then if you marry an immature one, every day would be a children's day. If you marry a liar, every day would be a April's Fool. If you marry an elderly, every day would be a senior day. So marriage has a risk. So you need to be careful getting married. Wish you a hell of Valentine's Day. That's the Valentine's Day's joke. Wow, it's 6 o'clock. Time for dinner. So, what happened today? Let me tell you that marriage is the burial for romance. At night, the wife heard the husband crying and woke him up and asked what happened. And the husband said, I dreamt that I am getting married again. And the wife said, isn't that good? Aren't you looking for another woman? You should laugh. You should be happy and not cry. But the husband said, on the wedding night, when I lift up the bridal veil, it turned out to be you again. So let me tell you that spiritual cultivation is a good thing. If you are diligent in spiritual cultivation, just follow the monks and the nuns. Then eventually you would also be ordained. So it's not necessarily good to have Valentine's Day or to have a Valentine. The wife told the husband, well, on this holiday time, let's travel. And the husband said, oh, that's expensive. Why don't we just buy a travel magazine and then you would see wherever you want to go. And the next day, husband came home and the wife is watching TV and he asked her, what do we have for dinner? And the wife gave him a cookbook. Why don't you just check and eat whatever that's there? You can eat whatever you want. Happy Valentine's Day. So today is Valentine's Day and also a New Year. New Year is approaching. So let me just share the key meanings of spiritual cultivation. We all know that human life is very short. See, like this class 32, at class we were all very young and handsome then. Every one of us on Sundays would have girlfriends. especially Jiang Qingzhen. He would have this girlfriend and sometimes that girlfriend, and for me, I have nobody. So I told Jiang Qingzhen, why don't you let me come with you? And he replied, what? You would be a light bulb. Why don't you just go for a matinee at the movie theater? So that's what I did during college. I have pen friends, but I have no girlfriends. How could that be possible? Because we are short. I found Fu Shiqian very handsome. Fu Shiqian is very handsome. Let's say that later. At that time, Mr. Fu was very handsome. During our survey team, he had a girlfriend, and I thought, I want to go with them. Maybe his girlfriend would have a younger sister. So I went with them. And Mr. Fu said, why don't you stay outside? And if the girl is beautiful, then he would show up. But the girl did not show up. So I asked him to appear, and then the girl immediately appeared. Because they recognized each other. They use a telephone that you have to turn with your hand. And they try to meet, and then when I stood there, she did not come out. But when he stood there, she came out. So I was very sad. So each one of my classmates were very handsome then. And also Zheng Ying, he's tall and handsome. He's tall and handsome and full of characteristic, like Uchusma, very masculine and very straightforward. And I admire him. And Cai Mingyi, he also have a huge face and very generous, and so he's getting better, right? He's in the construction business. And he's the big boss of the construction world. And Yang Xionghui is like an organizer. He's very talented in organizations. And he introduced me to enter into the party. And at first I did not. And then later on, the executive secretary of the team, it's like the mentor. You also asked me to enter into the party, right? I was afraid to join the party, but because we were in the military, so everyone had to join the party, and I did too. And then I became a nationalistic, patriotic, young talent. And the young generation also passed. Now we are all in our 70s. And our classmates were all, most of us were in our 70s. Now we become elderly. It's easy for us to get sick. As a human being, we would be born, growing old and sick, and eventually die. So why do we have to cultivate spiritually? Because we want to be liberated from the sufferings of life. It is good enough to become a human being, but those in the animal realms, in hells, in the hungry ghosts, in the three low realms, they are even worse. And it's already full of suffering in the human world, more sufferings than happiness. And to be liberated from human sufferings, if we have a good belief, good faith, like true Buddha school, which is a pure and good belief, and we teach the purities of the body, speech, and mind until we can arrive at the pure land of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and learn to be like Bodhisattvas, to be compassionate, and the spirit of the Buddhas, to be liberated from the 6 rebirth realms until you reach the highest spiritual realms. And that's the meaning of spiritual cultivation. And the goal of spiritual cultivation is to be clear and comprehend what human life is about, what we are doing here. And the ultimate is that there is nothing to gain, as spoken by the Buddha. Grandmaster often said, like the ex-president Apian, he reached the highest position in the human world. He was the president of Republic of China, Taiwan. But what did he gain? Let me give you another example. The richest man of Taiwan, Mr. Wang Yongqing, what did he gain? Let me give you another example. The most beautiful one at our time, who would that be? The actress Cui Tai-Qing. She was the most beautiful. She is the idol of the youngsters at college. There was a riddle at the name of author. The title is The Behind of Cui Tai-Qing, and that would be the name of an author. Qiu Miao. This is also a play of words. She was most beautiful, and Hu Yimeng was also really beautiful. But now they are also old. We are all old. And then at the end, nothing, everything is gone. If you have seen through all these different forms of human lives, and you can be put all of you into spiritual cultivation to reach the purity of the mind, purity of the body, purity of the speech. These 3 purities. And on top of that, you also help other sentient beings. These are the goals of our spiritual cultivation. Now it's 6:03, and it's not 50 minutes yet. Seeing all my ex-classmates here, I'm very touched that so many of them came here, and they are the one that I respect most. The leader Yang and the Major General Sun and all my ex-classmates. So all my classmates were all my lovers, my loved ones. I really treasure this meaning of love in the human life. I would never forget the love I've ever had. I didn't drink the ambrosia, which is forgetting about love. But no, that's not what I drank. I drank the loving ambrosia. Right? Is it good? So we didn't have time to talk about the Great Perfection Dharma today. We didn't have time. And let me say a few words about Vajracharya recommendation. First, they have to have contributed greatly to Buddha school. After ordination, they contributed to themselves to Buddha school, and they have to have good integrity and morality, that they could be good exemplar for the heavens and earth. Raja Acharyas, they are precious, so they have to have a very high morality and good integrity, and they would have contributed greatly to Buddha school, and their education should be higher, PhDs or master's degrees. We have many Vajracharyas with master's and doctoral degrees, or at least bachelor's degree. So you have to have good knowledge. You need to be knowledgeable, and you need to have spiritual response in your spiritual cultivation. That means you have the purity of body, speech and mind, because by having the purities in the body, speech and mind, you would gain Ragic response with the Yidam. And you need to respect the Guru, treasure the Dharma, and practice diligently. These are key points. They are all important. So maybe you don't have educational background or scholastic degrees, but if you respect the Guru, treasure the Dharma, and practice diligently, that would be fine. But you need to also be knowledgeable to become a good exemplar for heaven and earth. So you need to remember this. If you don't have great contribution to Buddha school, you don't have great performance, then you should wait before you become Vajracharya. Wakaru? The master is talking to the Japanese master in Japanese. Good afternoon. Good
岁
evening.
数千万不要太大，
And also
像是
that they're not too old.
17岁当然可以。
The Grandmaster is 17, so that would be
我
fine.
这个念过来啊，念英文是这样子念70。
So reading in English is from left to right, but Chinese you read from right to left, so that would be 17.
年纪越轻，
So the younger the better. So
出家5年以上，出家5年以上。
and people that have become monks or nuns for at least 5 years
70岁，人生才开
a
始
good
开始掉牙齿。
youth. But at 17, your life just started
闹哄
and
是闹哄
you start to lose your teeth.
啊，年纪不要太大。
So when you talk, then
但
you
是年
cannot
纪也不能太轻啊，因为
speak
年
well.
纪太轻啊，佛学
But
知识还没有
They
进入
cannot be too young because then their Buddhist knowledge will not mature.
几岁跟几岁之间是最
So as a guru,
岁到
it is best to be between 35 and 45.
最
That's number one.
35岁到45岁，
So between 35 and 45 is the
佛学知
best.
识比较圆满，他能够
Then their Buddhist knowledge is rather
比较我们
complete
讲
and they
因为
can
我们
speak
这个
better.
老人啊，死的死，
We need to be younger these days,
病的
otherwise the original masters,
家人
some are old and sick and dead.
像师尊这样勇气的，无几
The
个
one that's like the master, strong and healthy,
至少啊，
not like
跟师尊
no
比
man,
得上
not many. You need to be comparable to Grandmaster.
上面的人啊，很爽。
You need to be strong and muscular
好，
and with the
我是海军陆战
bicep.
是测量学校，
I'm from the
测
survey
量学校，但是测量学校呢，
team.
我本身
Even
对
then,
这个身体的这个运动一直
I
坚持，
maintain my physical fitness and stamina
越年复
every single day, year after year, and never stop.
所以我摸顶的时候啊，
So when I give empowerments on the head, some people say I have headache or shoulder ache or a stomach ache or heart problems or knee pains or athlete's feet. I touch them all.
这里痛那里痛，不是这里痛，
All
是
the
那里痛
pains here and hurt there.
跟大家讲，老
And let me
什么
tell
都不
you,
痛。
I have no pain whatsoever.
我还不知道什么叫做痛，
I don't know what pain is about.
啊，不知道40腰，也不知道50肩。
I
人家
don't.
40腰50肩呢，我们从
I
来就
never
没有。
had any backache or shoulder ache, frozen
也没有
shoulders,
50肩，
even when I'm 71 already. Never occurred to me.
70岁的时候，
At 70,
我拍了一张照，
I took a picture for remembrance.
我是海军陆战队的，不是测量学校，
I'm like the
测量学校
military
我们
man
的
from
测
the
量学校
survey team.
都是登山队的。
The survey team are like mountain climbers.
测量点都是在最高点，
They always climbed the
都是
peaks
登山队的。
to take the surveys
爬山爬的，
on the
我
geodesy.
们都是爬
Nobody won over us in a mountain
对不
climbing,
对啊？
right?
我从这个宜兰的南湖大山爬到高
I
雄
climbed from the Nanfu mountain
爬
in
到高雄的
Yilan
凤鼻头
to
这
Kaohsiung,
几个山
and there were several mountains in
宜
between.
兰的南大
From
山
the great mountain Nanyi of Yilan
木萨自
to
然公园
Musa,
这个山底，
the peak
南头
there,
最
to
高
the peak in Nantou, the tallest peak
阿里山，
in
这个
Jiayi,
归仁
Alisan,
那个地方
and
归
to
仁，那
Guiren,
个是关庙的那个山，
the mountain that the
新
Guan
竹的尖壁
Temple,
山，新竹尖壁
and
山，
in Hsinchu,
这个
Mount
高雄的
Jianbi,
凤鼻头那个
and
山
finally to Kaohsiung,
的山，
Mountain
归
Hongbitou,
仁的那个关庙的山，另外
and the
新竹的山
Guiren and Hsinchu, all the mountains in Taichung.
那么远，
So far,
南湖大山、木上，
and Musa, Nanfu.
我以前是测量台北都市计
I
划，
was taking the
台北都
surveys
市计划是我测量，但是我现在不认识台
and
北。
all in the city development of Taipei, but now I don't recognize it anymore.
钓鱼台
And also Diaoyitai, the island, was also surveyed by our survey team.
这个都是过去的，
But those were all in the past.
今天呢，师
Today
尊最会爬的是什么山？
The mountain that Grandmaster often climb is the Pillow Mountain. Om Mani Padme Hum.